What if the warmth of the sun, the laughter of children, the joys of summer, were to take a sinister turn? Welcome, friends, to a world where the bright, carefree days of summer are not always as they seem. Where beneath the surface of warm sands, glistening waters, and vibrant summer blooms lurk tales of terror that chill you to the bone. This is a journey into the heart of darkness that exists, not in the realms of fiction, but in the harsh light of truth. Picture this: the sun, high in the azure sky, casting long shadows that dance on the ground. The air filled with the intoxicating scent of blooming flowers, the buzz of bees, and the laughter of children. Summer, a season synonymous with joy, relaxation, and respite from the harsh winter cold. A time when worries are forgotten, when life seems to take a breather. But what if this idyllic scene were to shatter? What if the laughter were to fade, replaced by screams of terror? What if the warm sun were to cast shadows of dread, the beautiful blooms were to hide unspeakable horrors, and the buzzing bees were to become harbingers of fear? These are not mere figments of a febrile imagination, but true stories of summertime horror. Stories of campfire tales that turned out to be terrifyingly real, of beach houses that held secrets darker than the deepest ocean, of summer festivals that became nightmares. Stories that remind us that even in the midst of beauty and joy, darkness can descend. Each tale is a stark reminder that horror is not confined to the realm of fiction, not limited to ghost stories whispered in the dead of night or horror movies watched from behind a cushion. It is real, it is palpable, and it can strike when least expected, turning the warmest summer day into a chilling winter's night. So as we embark on this journey, remember, these tales are not spun from the threads of fantasy. They are not just tales, they are a chilling reality. As we delve into the horrors of these true stories, remember, these events aren't just tales, they are a chilling reality. Imagine a camping trip, a getaway into the wilderness, the perfect summer adventure. But what happens when this adventure turns into a nightmare? Picture this: a group of friends embarking on a summer trip. They were four, eager to escape the hustle and bustle of the city, seeking solace in the heart of nature. They chose a secluded spot, nestled deep within the woods, where the chirping of crickets and the whisper of the wind would be their only companions. Everything was perfect. The first day spent hiking, exploring, and sharing old stories around the campfire. As darkness fell, they retreated to their tents, their laughter echoing through the silent woods. Little did they know, their laughter wasn't the only sound breaking the stillness of the night. In the dead of night, a chilling howl echoed through the trees. Startled, they dismissed it as a distant coyote. But as the night wore on, the howls grew louder, closer. Then came the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs. Fear started to creep in, their hearts pounding in their chests, their breaths quick and shallow. Suddenly a blood-curdling scream pierced the quiet night. One of them was gone, vanished into the inky darkness. Panic seized them, their minds racing, their bodies paralyzed with fear. They huddled together, the darkness pressing in, the unknown lurking just beyond their flashlight's feeble beam. As dawn broke, they ventured out, their friend's name a desperate plea on their lips. The sight that met their eyes was a horror they weren't prepared for. Their friend, or what was left of him, lay scattered across the campsite. The terror of the night had left its gruesome mark. What started as a fun-filled camping trip had ended in a nightmare, a chilling tale of terror etched forever in their minds. They had sought an adventure, but what they found was a horrifying reality that would haunt them for the rest of their lives. As the sun rose, the horror of the night was revealed, but this was no nightmare, it was all too real. A beach house, the sound of waves, a summer paradise. But what if this paradise was a facade for something truly terrifying? Picture this: a family eager to escape the city's hustle embarks on a summer getaway to a charming beach house. The house, perched on a cliff, overlooks the vast, shimmering ocean. The tranquility of the place is intoxicating. But little did they know their dream vacation was about to morph into a nightmare. On the first night, the family was awakened by the chilling sound of a woman's sobs echoing through the halls. They searched the house, their hearts pounding, but found no one. The eerie cries seemed to dissolve into the air, leaving a lingering sense of dread. The following days were marked by a series of inexplicable occurrences. Doors creaked open on their own, cold spots appeared and vanished. The laughter of children, none of whom were present, echoed eerily during the day. The family's initial skepticism gradually gave way to an unspoken fear. The beach house, once a symbol of serenity, had turned into a puzzle box of terror. The climax of this chilling saga arrived one stormy night. The lights flickered and went out. plunging the house into darkness. The family huddled together, their breaths hitching as they heard the sound of footsteps approaching. A shadowy figure appeared in the doorway, its presence more felt than seen. The tension in the room was palpable, a silent scream hanging in the air. And then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished, leaving behind an echoing silence. This was their breaking point. The family fled the beach house, leaving behind their summer dreams. They later discovered that their beach house had a tragic past, a tale of love, loss, and despair. The paradise they had sought was haunted by a past that refused to rest. As the summer sun set, the beach house stood silent, a stark reminder of the terror that had unfolded. Festivals, a time of joy, celebration, and community, but what if amidst the celebration, a sinister presence lurked? Let's dive into our third true story, a tale of a summer festival that took a disturbing turn. Picture this, a small town where everyone knows everyone, all gathered together in the town square. The air is filled with the scent of cotton candy and popcorn, laughter and music echo around, and the vibrant colors of the festival lights paint a picture of pure delight. Now imagine the same scene, but with a shiver of unease that seems to flutter on the edges of your consciousness. Amidst the cheerful crowd, a figure lurks, a stranger whose smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. As the evening progresses, the laughter grows louder, the music more boisterous, but underneath it all, the undercurrent of dread strengthens. The stranger, always in the corner of your eye but never quite there when you turn to look, begins to feel more and more out of place. He's like a shadow, a phantom in the midst of the revelry, his presence an ominous blot on the otherwise joyful event. And then it happens. The music abruptly stops. The laughter dies down. A chilling scream cuts through the night, echoing eerily against the silence that follows. The stranger is gone, and in his place a trail of terror that turns the summer festival into a scene of horror. In the aftermath, the town square is an eerie contrast to the vibrant celebration it once was. The once cheerful crowd is now filled with fear and confusion. The festival lights, once a beacon of joy, now cast long, menacing shadows that seem to hold secrets too terrifying to comprehend. As the festival lights dimmed, the chilling reality of the event came to light, a reminder that even in times of celebration, horror can strike. As we've journeyed through these chilling tales, it's important to remember one thing. These aren't just stories, they are true events. Picture this, a summer's nightmare that turns an idyllic suburban neighborhood into a scene straight from a horror movie. Innocence shattered by the terror that lurked in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. An ordinary day turned into an unforgettable horror that still sends shivers down the spine. Then, there was the camping trip. A group of friends venturing into the wilderness for some summer fun, only to find themselves in a real-life survival horror. A trip that was supposed to be filled with laughter and camaraderie, quickly morphed into a chilling experience that none of them will ever forget. And who could forget the beach house? A family getaway that went from sun-drenched days and balmy nights to a terrifying ordeal that still haunts their dreams. A peaceful retreat that was transformed into a battleground against an unseen and unrelenting terror. Then, the summer festival. A time of joy and celebration, marred by a horror that no one saw coming. An event that was supposed to be a highlight of the summer, turned into a nightmare that will forever be etched in the memories of those who were there. These stories, as horrifying as they are, remind us of a chilling reality. The unpredictability of horror. The fact that it can strike at any time, in any place, even during what is generally considered a joyful time, summer. These aren't just stories meant to send a chill down your spine, they are true events, reminders of the reality of horror. They serve as a stark reminder that while summer is often associated with joy and relaxation, it can also be a backdrop for unspeakable horror. As we bid farewell, remember, summer is a time of joy, but as these true stories remind us, it can also be a season of unspeakable horror.